Hi, I am Wilhelmine Siantilia and I am the teacher.
Oh. Hi, I am Mohamed S. Mamalinta and I am the walang pakialam student.
Hi, I am Baishara Shaide Malaw and I am the leading character and the constructivist learner.
Hi, my name is Princess Naomi Kiao and I'm always the prepared student.
Hi, I'm Junhaina G. Junhani. I am the go with the flow student.
Hi, I am Ernest Luis Simigalianes and I am the Medyo Paligo student.
And we will
Represent the
Constructivism philosophy
Of education.
Miss Malaw, please report to my office.
Bobo!
Okay, good evening, class.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening,
Good
ma'am.
evening.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Okay. So at our most recent meeting, we discussed and analyzed the story A Thousand Splendid Suns. Now, can anyone discuss or give or provide their reflection on what they have learned from the novel's analysis or reaction maybe? Okay, yes, Luis.
Okay, so for me, ma'am, the novel A Thousand Splendid Suns serves as an eye-opener for the people who's not aware that this kind of situation is still rampant in some of society, or better yet, country, ma'am. That's it.
Yes, thank you, Luis. Okay, how about the others? Naomi, can you?
So, well, ma'am, for me, I just not like how the women in the novel were portrayed. Also, it includes variety of insensitivity, nudity, racism, religious viewpoints, and sexually explicit content. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Thank you for stating your opinion, Naomi. Okay, do you want to add something, Miss Johanna?
I also agree with no. How the women were portrayed and treated in the story that should have not been included because it contains violence and abuse against the woman.
And although this does pertain to the book, it also offers an insight into Afghan culture and problems facing citizens during that time.
Okay, thank you for sharing your opinion, Johanna and Mohammed. So, oh, Shara, what about you? Do you want something? Can you share your thoughts?
Ma'am, me po?
Yes, you are the only Shara in the class. So to make sure that you are truly listening, can you add or provide us your reflection on the story?
I think this kind of topic is an eye-opening for those people who have never traveled outside the country. That's all po.
Okay, thank you. So I acknowledge your opinion or thoughts about the story, and indeed, it is a good novel. And so, based on your answers, I guess that you truly understood the story. Okay, so moving on to our next topic.
Huy guys, nabasa nyo na yung bagong story na sinend ni ma'am?
Still not tapos pa. Ang haba. Huhuhu.
Hala, may pinabasa?
Good day, Ms. Sharma Lau. I just wanted to inform you that the majority of your quizzes and tasks have very poor scores. Is all well? I am aware that you are a gifted student. It simply requires tuning. I hope everything is okay.
Okay, so let us not waste time here. On last meeting, we discussed the novel The Piece of String by Guy de Maupassant, and that includes introducing the background information of the author, and also we have tackled the summary of the string after reading the story and the themes of the story, and next the analysis. And now we will discuss the plot, the narrative plot of the story, and which I assume that we are all familiar of. The rising action of the story is he is unable to persuade the magistrate, and he realizes that he is thought of as dishonest by his neighbors. Now, my question. And then the pocketbook is found. This statement, where do you think it belongs? To the rising action or to the climax of this story?
Climax.
Climax?
Like,
Okay.
Climax, ma'am. Climax, I'm sure. Yes.
Shara? Oh my God. Where's Shara?
Maybe she's having an interruption po, ma'am.
Oh, so I think Shara is already here. Okay, Shara, how about you? Where do you think that the discovery of pocketbook belongs to the rising?
For me, ma'am, it is still part of the rising action.
The only different answer. Okay, but first, let me hear Naomi's arguments. Why do you think that it is part of the climax of the story?
so I think it is a part of the climax because it contributes to the overall suspense and thrill of the story. Besides, because the purse was found, the tale was fundamentally changed, revealing that the protagonist is innocent of the accusations. That's all, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ma'am?
Yes, Luis, you want to add
And
something?
yes, ma'am. And you stated last meeting, ma'am, that climax is the highest point of interest. So when the pocketbook was discovered, it becomes the turning point of the story.
That is quite convincing. Now, let me hear the sense of Shara. Why do you say, and why do you think that it is still a part of the rising action?
I think it is still part of the rising action, ma'am, because the climax of the story is when the protagonist cannot prove his innocence.
That is interesting. Now, first, can you define for me the rising action? Shara?
Wait.
Okay, let me rephrase the question. Okay. When you want to buy something and your mind believes that it is a waste of money, but your heart believes also that it is worth the money. What do you think it will produce?
Conflict.
Yeah, definitely conflict. Now, the same goes with the rising action. What do you think now the rising action means?
It's part of the story where the conflict increases, ma'am.
Yes, that's correct. Now, can someone give me the definition of the climax?
Ma'am.
Yes, Shara.
Okay, so the climax is the highest point of interest which may take the shape of a decision, a revelation, an action, an affirmation, or a realization.
Okay, that's correct. Now, thank you, Shara. Okay, try to evaluate based on the definitions given. Compare it with your answers that you have stated a while ago. 4 of the class believes that the discovery of the pocketbook belongs to the rising story or the rising action. And 1 of you argue that it is part. I am sorry. So 4 of you believes that it is a climax. And 1 of you argue that it is still part of the rising action. Now, try to evaluate. Is there any changes of thoughts after giving it some thought? Shara, what do you think is the primary complication of the story?
Okay, ma'am. So the primary complication revolves from the alleged eyewitness account of the crime.
Information presented in the opening section that the protagonist only picked up a string and had a strained connection with Malandanes shapes our interpretation of the occurrence. And so we learn that the story's mystery is not about the alleged crime, and that the finale is not about the crime solution, but rather about
the protagonist's attempt to prove his innocence.
Exactly, and that means
okay, so that the discovery of pocketbook is part of the rising action, and when he proves his innocence, it's the climax.
That's correct. How did you learn all of that?
I did my own research, ma'am. I kind of relate from the story, actually.
Okay, thank you, Shara. Now moving on, after identifying the climax of the story,
I finally figured out how I learn. I consider myself to be a constructivist learner. I learn better when I can relate things to my own life experiences. My build thoughts can be supported by conducting extensive research and examining the matter. Finally,